Today in class, we are making penguins.
But instead of drawing what we think a penguin looks like, we will act like scientists and draw all the details and shapes that we really see. This is called drawing from observation. After we draw our penguin, you can behave like an artist and add all kinds of fun and crazy details. I'm here on Pebble Go. Let's look at some different types of penguins. The most famous are the emperor penguins. They're the biggest. They're almost 4 feet tall. They're probably bigger than you. Let's look at a video. Now, are these penguins alone or are they in a big group? That's right, they're in a really big group. It's part of how they keep warm in the winter.
King penguins.
These penguins are just a little smaller, so they're called king penguins. They're about 3 feet tall. Ready? We're gonna watch a mama king penguin kind of barf some food into this baby's mouth. That's how she feeds her baby.
Adelie penguins.
This one's pretty cute. It's called an Adelie penguin. It's pretty small. And it's great at jumping. There are so many different kinds. Let's look at this Gentoo penguin. Take a look under this penguin's body in the middle. What do you see? See the little chicks? She's protecting them from the cold and the wind. There are a lot of penguins with little yellow, it looks like pasta coming out of their head, like macaroni penguins or rockhopper penguins. Do you know why they're called rockhopper penguins? Let's look.
Little penguins.
This is the smallest kind of penguin. They're also called fairy penguins or little blue penguins. They've got a little blue-black shine to their feathers. Now, on your Schoology page, I've put this picture of lots of different types of penguins. I want you to pick one, and if it's hard to see because it's standing in a funny pose, I put this other picture where you can see them from the side. For this project, you need a paper, a pencil, and any coloring or painting tools you'd like. On your Schoology page is this picture with 17 different types of penguins, from the rockhopper to the macaroni penguins to some of these really funky African penguins down here and the little blue one. I'm going to show you how to draw an emperor penguin, kind of the classic. You can draw any kind that you want. To start off, no matter what penguin you draw, I would begin as big as you can on your paper by making a little circle where the head will be, like this. Now I'm sketching, and when you sketch, am I pushing hard with my pencil or light? Very light, right? Because this circle isn't really going to be there later. Next, I'm going to make an oval for the body. And actually, now that I'm looking, I would make this even bigger. If we are at school, I usually give us some ovals to trace to help us make these nice and big. I'm going to actually move this back a little bit. There we go. Now this shape feels like this to me. The next thing to do is to add the beak. So I notice it's about halfway down the head and it goes out and back in, almost like a very long, skinny triangle. Now this is hard to see in the picture, but if you look on the inside of the beak, it's almost like a sideways letter V, and then a line down the middle. Next is the eye. Mostly, well, I would probably put the eye up here if I wasn't really looking, but if I'm looking, where's that eye? I think it's right next to the beak. So I'm going to put it here. And it's got that little circle of light inside, so I'm going to make a circle and color the rest in. And the reason I'm using a blue pencil is because I think it's a little easier for you to see. A lot of artists actually start with a blue pencil first instead of a regular pencil for their sketch That way, you don't get pencil eraser lines when you have your final product. Now I'm gonna go over the circle I made for the head, and I'm going to kind of trace the body. Now, here's what I notice. The neck, or the head, doesn't really go in like a circle. He's got a thick old neck. So I'm just gonna go straight down the back and stop right about there. Let's do the same thing with the belly. It may have over puffed, but that's all right. Now the next thing to do is the fins, or the flippers. I would probably make them up here if I wasn't looking carefully, right? But I noticed this starts, oh my gosh, almost halfway down. I'm gonna draw a curve that goes forward, and then it kind of curves backward. If you want your penguin to be holding something like a balloon or something like that, you could draw another flipper up here. And again, they're pretty big. So we're using our imagination now a little bit too, and that's okay with art. The next thing to do is to think about the feet. I noticed there's almost like a letter U, like he's wearing some baggy sweatpants. So I'm going to make a little letter U here. That's the top of his leg. And then his foot comes out of that. Do you see that? So it comes out, and I see 1, 2, 3 toes. Now the other foot you can't really see. So I'm just going to draw a little bit of a U and a little bit of a curve. And I had no idea that penguins had such fluffy tails. Your last job is to figure out what part of the penguin is white and what part is black or gray or blue or yellow. I'm going to start here where the neck touches the head. And I notice it goes over a little, it goes up past the eye, and then makes almost a mountain shape. And it kind of comes back, up some more, wiggles a little bit, and hides behind his arm, right? Then you can't really see what the belly does until you get past the arm again, and then back to his foot. So when you look at something and you draw exactly the lines you see, that's called contour drawing. After that, you can take out your coloring stuff. If you're painting, I think it can help sometimes to trace your lines first with something nice and dark. Now that we've observed like scientists, we can get funky. If you have any extra wrapping paper or fun paper at home, you can cut little bits to make a hat, scarf. You can even rip tiny little pieces and put them in the sky like he's having a party and it's full of confetti. If you have paint, you could paint a background too.
I hope you had fun combining science and art today. I can't wait to see what kind of penguin you chose to draw.